Hey guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lou. Coming to you live from Accelerate Life University, XLR8Life.com. Coach Lou will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the motivation, the energy, the life, and all the success you really want and deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lou.
Before we get started this morning, guys, with Breakthrough with Lou, I just want to take a moment out to acknowledge it is September 11th, and we won't forget as Americans what happened that day many, many years ago. What we have forgotten is to be Americans first before any of our other differences and band together like we did after September 11th. One of the worst tragedies our country had ever seen led to something that was good because we all banded together no matter what and stuck together. And over the years that has eroded, my friends, so let's get back to that. I'm dedicating today's show to all the lives lost on September 11th, all the American lives lost, and all the families that lost them. I'm dedicating today's show to seeing our country put itself back together, put aside our differences, and step up and be Americans and support each other. That is my prayer, and hopefully we're going to take just a moment of prayer, just a moment of silence, however you want to word that, before we start the show this morning. And just take a second out and think of what that means to you, what that means to your loved ones, what it would mean to each other if we went back to treating each other and being how we were after September 11th. All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Let's let today be a day where we honor not only ourselves, our families, our country, and our world, and our creators. And let's step up and do our part. Wow, have we come a long way since that fateful day? I think we all remember where we were, and today is about health, but we do need to acknowledge this. I think we all remember where we were the moment those planes hit that tower. Okay, those towers. We know right where we were. That was an impactful moment. And it was so crazy because afterwards, after the tragedies, it bound our country together in such a way that sometimes things bring something together in such a way that we never thought that bond could break. I mean, Charlie Daniels was singing about everybody, city, country, arming together and standing together as one nation, and what a beautiful thing it was. And it was a beautiful thing that had come out of a tragedy. And then the years went on, and that eroded a little bit, and factions of the world that don't want America to be great, and for us to support each other and to support each other's commonalities and differences. We have one major commonality: we're all Americans, and if you don't feel good about being an American, take a hike. Okay, now that doesn't say you feel good about the government as it is, as it was, and all that, and everybody agrees and we're all homogenous and blah blah blah. It just simply means you should wake up each day and be thankful that you are here in America, not in some third world socialist country where you're told what to eat, if you even have enough to eat, where you work. It's the dredges. Okay, so be grateful. I think that's my message to start out today's show is make sure you are grateful and you have absolute gratitude for what we have, what we do, the freedoms we have, and the ability for me to come talk to you this morning about owning your health. Oh boy, here we go. Now comes the part where you go, oh crap, I might have to take part in this. I might have to make some changes. Well, what's wrong with that? So let me ask you a question to kick it off this morning. Who owns your health? Okay. Who's in charge of your health? Okay. Is it your government? You might not be listening in the United States. Maybe it's somewhere else. Is your government in charge of your health? Do you have to, if you need health care, do you have to go beg and grovel with some government agency to get health care? That's socialism for you. Do you get mad because your insurance company doesn't work with the doctor that you want to go to? Oh, that could happen. Or are you one of those people that really don't go to the doctor too often except for some checkups because you're downright healthy at 40, 50, 60 years old, 30 years old, whatever age you are? Or are you that person that's at a doctor every other day because you got every other problem and every other side effect from every other medicine that you need to take another medicine and have another surgery and this, that, and the other? Okay. So who's in charge of your health? Certainly not the WHO, not the World Health Organization. Oh my God, no. You don't want to listen to those folks. They're a little bit whacked. They're a lot whacked. Even your doctor's not in charge of your health. I'm going to open up a door here, and you're not going to like it. You are in charge of your health. You own your health. You might say, no, coach, I was born with type 1 diabetes. I didn't ask for that. No, you didn't. But what you do with what you were dealt makes a difference. Okay? I know folks that are type 1 diabetics that are living amazing lives and are in amazing condition and have energy. I know folks that are type 1 diabetics that, the only thing they can focus on is their next shot of insulin and they can't do this and they can't do that because, I'm a diabetic. Then you got the other person, same condition, totally stepping up and taking control of it. Now, is it fair? No, it's not always fair. Do you always give yourself your diseases? No. 90% of the time, most diseases are lifestyle related, though. There's that 10% out there that you can't control, or it's genetic, or something happens, and then it's about how you combat it that makes a difference. Okay, and it doesn't mean you just take a supplement and everything goes away. Okay, these things could happen. Something could go wrong. I'm not going to tell you that it's just a perfect science. Okay, there's a lot of art to this too. So, but the truth is, it's your decisions, your lifestyle, and your actions that determine your level of health. Even if you're faced with an illness or a disease or an injury or something that you didn't control, it's still what you do with what you have. And if you don't have any diseases and your lifestyle is horrendous, you can pretty much guarantee you will face disease at some point. Okay? And it doesn't mean that if you eat healthy all along and everything's great and everything else, that you will never have a disease or anything. Okay? Not saying that either. I mean, that happens. But your chances are huge differences whether you eat all this processed fast food or you eat clean, healthy food. Whether you sit on the couch and moving your remote and your fingers on your phone as your exercise, or whether you're an OCR runner and you get out and run and exercise and swim and do stuff like that. These make the differences. How about stress? Oh, yeah, I just got a stressful lifestyle. Well, people either take an approach to reduce it or they take an approach to reduce the effects of it, okay? And then other people just live in a freaking tornado 24/7 of drama and stress. 90% of that most of the time is unnecessary for them to be dealing with. Okay, there's stresses that come up. Things are going to happen. Things are going to be unfair. But it's how you deal with it. Ooh, yeah, it's a tough one today, isn't it? Okay, there's always that example of one person that goes against the 99 others. Grandma drank and smoked and, lived to be 94 years old and everything. But she sat in that damn chair watching the bowling show with a cigarette and a shot and a beer all day long. Okay, she was a sweet lady, but that ain't life. Then there's the person that, is 50 years old and has a heart attack out running, and people say, see, you shouldn't be out running, it kills you. Okay, well, 99% of the cases going for a run, walks, being outdoors isn't what kills you. It's sitting inside, and all that crap that'll kill you. Okay, so we got to face some reality here. Is you're going to have to really, you're going to err on one side or the other. I'm going to err on the extremes of taking care of myself, strengthening my body, eating the right things. And it doesn't mean you eat tofu and beans and stuff you can't stand. Tofu tastes like wallpaper paste. So I'm going to give you a little secret. Tofu is loaded with estrogen producing properties that is actually horrendous for men. Any soy product is very dangerous for a man to consume, and really not real great for women either. And you're going, oh, he's being sexist. He's not saying it's all across the board for all ever. No, it's not. No, it's not. A woman doesn't have a prostate, okay? And men, you do. And if you're eating a lot of soy product, and if you're a vegan and you're going, oh, coach, I don't know, I'm vegan. Well, let me tell you something that's destructive to your body. Okay, it's dangerous to eat soy for a man, and it's really not good for you for a woman. Okay, so take that one to the bank. There's studies and studies and studies to back that up. There are not studies. There's a couple studies out there that showed that soy was good for the cardiovascular system. Well, in the grand scheme of things, there's a whole lot better versions of proteins that you can do. These are the things that people go, oh, wow, I didn't know that. And guess how many of your products? Go read your food labels. Soybean oil, soy, this, that, the other. Okay? And, you're like, well, no oils are good because they're fat. See, these are the things we've heard and the conditioning we get that you start to believe this stuff and live as this stuff, and then you go, I don't know why I never feel good. I don't know why I have all this inflammation. I don't know why. Well, it's what you're sticking in your mouth and what you're not doing with your body. Okay, so let me ask you a question though. We all know what we should do, right? Pretty much we know that vegetables are better than McDonald's burgers, right? We know this. But yet you'll go to McDonald's or Wendy's and shovel this stuff down, like a hungry dog getting into his plate. I'm so hungry. Oh, I feel better. Oh my God, I feel like crap. I mean, come on. How about if you ate a nice, healthy, organic salad that really tasted good, okay? I'm not saying forgo taste or a nice little, very well grass-fed piece of filet. Okay, a piece of filet lasts us 3-4 days because we put a couple little slices on a salad each day or something. Yum, delicious, got all the positives of, if you choose to eat meat, of a healthy meat, but you don't overdo it. Okay, a couple little slices of filet is very different than a cowboy-sized strip steak, 18 ounce, and you sit there and eat it and you go, oh my, pop, turn on the game. Oh, that idiot, he don't know how to throw a football. Well, if your fat ass could get off the sofa, you might not throw a football in that game any better. And I don't care what size you are, guys. You know that I am not judgmental about where you're at. What I do say is, if you don't do something to go to where you want to go, then you're lazy or unmotivated. A lot of times people aren't lazy. They either lack the motivation because they don't have a strong enough why, or they just don't have the resources yet. They just haven't gotten to understand it. It always kills me because, the poor fat kid that gets picked on in school and comes from a family that didn't teach him anything. Hey, how about instead of picking on the little dude, how about, maybe he's a big dude, how about bringing him something and saying, hey, you want to try this, buddy? Instead of, you should eat this because you won't be fat. There would be ways to bring this to somebody who needs it, and then maybe goes, oh, that's not too bad. Next thing you know, the kid's eating better, losing some weight, and he feels good about himself and goes, you know what, I come from a long line of people that didn't care about what they did and everything else, and I'm breaking that chain. You never know the good that can come from reaching out in a kind way to somebody and just say, hey, would you like to try this? Instead of, you should, you need to, you. Now, once in a while, I give you some you push because you need it. But I really would rather if you get on the show or you get on any of my courses when you need something and you need to learn about something and go, wow, this is great. He's bringing me something I can use, not pushing something down my throat. Matter of fact, a lot of us could use to put a little bit less down our throats. Okay? Meal control, some fasting, some cool stuff like that. You know, a little bit less going in and a little bit more coming out might be a good thing. All right. So we all know the difference between good and bad, basically. The truth is there's a lot of things that you've been conditioned that are good for you that actually are not. The FDA really falls down on their job. They have all these regulations in place of how to do this and how to do that. And then they allow people to put all natural on a label. And there is no regulation to that. It could be glue. Well, it's all natural glue. Okay, pass the test. All natural on a label means nothing, guys. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay? So just remember that. All natural means nothing. When you're reading those labels, dig in. If there is stuff on a food label that you can't pronounce and you don't know what it is, you better look it up real fast, number one. Not everything you can't pronounce or, is beyond your comprehension on a food label is necessarily bad, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to understand that about 90% of the time that's the case. Because if they put toxic sugar, you would pay attention. But maltodextrose, this, that, and the other, you're like, I don't even know what that is. Well, it can't be that bad if they're allowed to put it in, because the FDA wouldn't allow them to put it in if it's bad for you. Food coloring, Mountain Dew. Okay, boys, if you want to have girls that want to stick around and you want to have a healthy life in the boy-girl stuff, don't drink Mountain Dew because it'll take it out. Just saying. There is stuff in your food that is toxic and allowed. Oh, well, we got to spray it with pesticides so the bugs don't eat it, but it's okay when you eat it. I was going to a race a few weeks back, and I should have taken a picture of this for you guys. I'm going out there. It's the middle of the country, and I got to go to the bathroom. Okay, here it is. I'm pretty open about everything. I really got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, ooh, a porta potty for one of the farms. Cool, right by the road. I'm like, all right, not my favorite thing in the world, but I'm a little ways from the race venue. There's no gas stations anywhere. So I get out and there's this big sign next to it. Caution, do not enter these fields. Toxic levels of pesticides. This is our food they're growing, baby. Toxic levels of pesticides. Do not enter the fields without protective equipment. It's not okay for their workers to enter the field without protective equipment, but it's okay to put that in your kid's mouth. Ooh, now this is not a rant this morning. I'm going to do some teaching, guys, but I'm just letting you know what really goes on out there as opposed to what your labels tell you or the commercial, family time. Really? Let's go stuff what's barely meat and horrible breads and stuff like that and processed cheeses down your kid's throat, but you're having family time. Hey, you want a burger? Get a good grass-fed burger and go ahead and grill it out at home would be the best thing to do. If that's what you want. I'm not saying you ever eat a burger. I'm not saying you never go out and have any fast food. I'm just saying 90 to 95% of the time, that's not what you're doing when it comes to dietary. And I got to get my butt moving this morning because I'm kind of getting into this, but I want to do some teaching too, other than that. Okay? And then, people say, God, Coach, there's so many things in the media that claim to be good for you, cure, help. How do I make a decision what to do? Okay, you got to educate yourself, self-education. Get a coach, get some coaching on some of this. Find out what works, start doing, and then do more of what works for you. You know the difference when you eat something and you feel energized and your body feels good, as opposed to when you eat something and you want to go flop on the couch, turn on the remote, and bitch about what the athlete isn't doing that you would do better. if you were on that field or on that rink or wherever, and you think, oh, I skate like this. You can't even skate. Maybe you can, okay? But I'm just saying, if you're in that position where you can't or you're not able to get up and move and maximize your life, something's got to give, okay? So here's some areas of health that can get you started in this discovery process, or some ideas. I'm going to kind of breeze through these, and I got something to tell you about at the end. Decades ago, a couple decades ago, the big thing, I remember, well, maybe even longer, my dad was still alive when they started this low-fat diet stuff. Everything was low-fat. Really? Are you that hungry that you got to smack your bowl? Rocco's over there smacking his bowl because he knows that usually means it gets my attention, and I feed him. It's a little bit early for the bowl smacking, Bubba. So if you hear that in the background, that's Rocco, our water dragon. So the low-fat diet fad, led to a lot of sugary foods, a lot of carby foods. But the low fat, right up here, this is fat. Yeah, we're all fat heads. If you're listening and not watching, I'm pointing to my head. And all of a sudden, 10, 20, 30 years later, we have a major epidemic of dementia at younger and younger ages after this low-fat diet thing, because, fat feeds the brain. Now, I'm not talking go out and eat, big piles of bacon and cheeseburgers with, I didn't have bread, so I'm okay. No. I'm talking about, what about those healthy fats, the avocados, the olive oils, the stuff like that energizes your brain. Your brain runs on ketones primarily, guys. But I could teach on that for hours. Another concept is the concept of cooked versus raw. Eat your vegetables in the more raw state. Now, don't go pick out a piece of chicken and eat it raw and get sick and say, Coach told me it's better to eat raw. Okay? You use your head. There are some things you have to cook. But mostly, if 80 to 90% of your dietary intake were raw, healthy, clean vegetables and fruits, how different do you think your body would operate? Okay, and then you got the exercise. Whew! Let's talk about exercise. Let's talk about exercise, baby. Are you really doing it? Well, I work hard. I have a physical job. Okay, people with physical jobs have heart attacks too, because they have a physical job, but yet they think that's all they need to do, and then they go eat, a big burly sub at lunch and a meat and potatoes dinner with a big dessert, and think it's okay because they work hard. Okay, exercise is different than work. Now, if you have a physical job where you are physically working and moving, that's all the better. Okay, even if you're going, well, I don't, and I couldn't make enough money doing that, but I do this. Well, then you get up from your desk, or you have a stand desk, like my studio desk here. I can raise this baby up and stand, and I do quite often, okay, because I do spend some time in front of the computer. Let's face it, we all do. We're in a different world than we used to. We don't work the fields of the farm as much, okay? So exercise, and finding the exercise is important to you and necessary, okay? Just, some people I do cardio, I go in the gym and go on the treadmill for an hour a day. You'd be better off getting outside and walking for an hour a day, or doing a light jog, than doing it inside on a treadmill. Now, if you're going to go to the gym, get into some of those weights, you got to build some of this, guys. Build some of that, because you know what? That's what moves you. That's what strengthens you. When you strengthen your grip, okay, you do some wrist curls with some weight resistance. That could save your life if you're hanging off the side of a mountain after a car crash and you're waiting for the rescue helicopter to come get you, and you don't go, I can't hold myself up. Okay, it's an extreme example, but think about this stuff. They say the number one signs of aging and the dangers of aging, they say if you fall and break a hip, you basically have signed your death warrant within 12 months. That's pretty scary. Now, if you're older, you start to go, yeah. Would you ever notice how gingerly older people, they step down off the curb? They always get hurt stepping down, falling down, okay? Going up rarely is a problem. People rarely, except for somebody we all see in the news quite often, falls upstairs. Um, but think about it. It's at downward, and that is directly related to muscle strength, coordination, and balance. And that is exactly what exercise gives you when it's done properly. Now, get a coach on that. Maybe you don't want to go to a personal trainer at your local gym that stands there and goes, do 10 more reps. And the kid's trying to get himself through college, and it's easy to go stand in the gym and be texting his girlfriend while he's trying, quote unquote, training you. I've seen a lot of that, and then I know some amazing trainers that are really spot on and really put their effort in and get great results with their people. But maybe that's not in your thing, where you're going, I really can't go to a trainer 3 times a week. I then get some coaching in home. Okay. And there's some of that's available free. My yoga class that I take is free. Cassandra out of Ottawa, up in Canada. Yoga with Cassandra with a K. Check her out. She's awesome. Tell her Coach Lou sent you. I do my yoga with her in the morning. I do anywhere from 5 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on the day and what's going on in my body. It's available out there. So you could get remote coaching. I could develop an exercise plan for you, because I'm still certified trainer all the way. I don't do a lot of in-person training anymore, because that's not what matches my ability to reach larger crowds and really make a difference for more people. But we could do that. Zoom, this, that, the other. Teach you how to design it. It's available out there. Number 4 is hermetic. Hermetic heat and cold therapy. Okay, basically that's sauna, hot baths, cold plunges. My cold plunge stuff is all over the website here, so go to xlr8life.com or coachlou.com, and I talk about a lot of that. I show you where to get the best of the best as far as the products, and not spend thousands of dollars to be able to do a cold plunge. There are inexpensive ways to do this stuff. Why, which, and what are the best saunas? Okay, believe it or not, there are people out there that go, I'm going to order my sauna on Amazon, or I'm going to go get the one at Costco because it's cheap. Okay, but that wood has been treated with chemicals and stuff like that. So every time you get in there, that wood, that heat leaches that. So you're getting the effect. Or the ones that are, they're just far infrared, and they just heat you up a little bit. You need the near, mid, and far infrared. So if you want some guidance on getting a sauna, or where to go to get that heat and cold therapy is one of the best things you can do. And I could spend hours teaching on that too, but we're just going to touch on stuff. Stress reduction, stress relief. Okay, the difference there is stress reduction is, how do I remove some of the stresses out of my life? How do I get rid of this stuff? Organization, being more organized, not associating with people that bring drama, dropping off the alcohol. You can't live life great when you're hungover all the time. Stuff like that. Now, there's other stresses. Well, there's certain stresses. I'm a first responder, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to go, ooh la la, there's a child in, critical condition, and I'm going to kind of mosey around. No, you're in a stressful situation. You've got to save that kid's life, get him on the helicopter, do whatever you got to do. That is not easy. There's no way to say that doesn't stress your body out. Okay? Doing a noble, amazing thing, but you're still getting stressed. So what do you do to stress relief? Do you go home and drink and smoke? Or do you go get a massage? Do you go do some sort of therapies, meditation, prayer? See the difference, guys? That's what I'm talking about. The whole key here is learn, test it out, learn some more, test it some more, and fine tune your overall lifestyle to keep you healthy. Okay? It's simpler than you think, but it requires effort. And effort is amazing when you see the results. Okay? I would rather put in a lot of effort to get amazing results than skate by and not put in much of effort but have crap results. Okay? Always learn to use a compared to what model. Okay, I'm giving you a little piece from our HEALS course. Compared to what gives you the options of, okay, now I didn't design this necessarily. Scott Harris out of Australia did. So I'm at an event and Scott's speaking. I'm like, hey, I got a question. Hey, I got a question. And I was like, damn it, I want you to answer my question. So he finally goes, yes, what's your question? I said, is almond milk really better than milk? He says, compared to what? Compared to what, mate? Was his actual response. And I'm like, well, is it better or not? He said, I don't know. Is it? And I'm like, simple freaking question. I'm honestly just almost a little pissed. It's like, just answer my question. And I was a lot younger and a lot spunkier about stuff like that. And he goes, well, all right, so is almond milk good for you? I'm like, well, yes, it's better because, regular milk has this. So you answered your own question. I said, yeah. So almond milk's better. He said, yeah. He said, what if you're allergic to almonds? I'm like, well, then obviously the rate. Oh. And he's like, all right, so if the only thing available is almond milk and not allergic, and that's probably the good choice, what if you need something and the only thing available is regular milk, but it's organic as opposed to commercially raised? Okay, well, the organic would be the better choice. Yeah, he's put me through this. And okay, well, what about gasoline? I'm like, what? So non-organic regular milk compared to gasoline. I'm like, I would never drink gasoline. What the hell's the matter with you? And it was like, oh, light bulb. Compared to what in the given situation? So I teach my own story about that. And it's, if you've ever been through the panhandle of Texas, there's this town called Ozona, Texas. Okay, there's nothing for 8 hours except for the gas station that at the time was charging $5.69 for gas when it was like $1.89 back in the day when we actually had a great prices on gas and a good economy going on. So I get to Ozona. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna stay there and take a break of the drive and get some food. Oh, Ozona's a war zone, guys. There's a McDonald's. So I'm like, well, gotta eat something. I haven't eaten. Been on the road. There's a McDonald's. So I'm gonna go eat the Big Mac family meal size with a shake, right? No! It's not the right choice. I had the stupid chicken salad. Now, is that the best chicken salad compared to most chicken salads? No. Was it a better choice than the big Wappa Wonka Mongo fatty disgusting burger with fries and a shake? Hell yeah. By the way, Life Boost coffee, baby. I'll leave you a link for it. Best tasting coffee in the world. Organic, mycotoxin free, single sourced, and freaking delicious. And so they have my vote. I'm going to leave you a link so you can try it too. All right, so using compared to what? Always good. Do you step up? How can I make this one step better? How can I like vegetables. Okay, well, maybe you don't eat them out of a can anymore. Maybe you get them fresh. Then you go, well, you know what? It's better to get them organic. You know what? That's, then it's better to eat them raw, organic. Whatever the case is, just take it up a notch. When you take this up a notch, this up a notch, this up a notch, this up a notch, 4 different things, now your life is 4 times better what you're putting in or what you're doing. 4 times by making little tiny jumps. Oh, great stuff. Okay, you want a shortcut to get the best dietary and lifestyle for you? Okay, here it comes, guys. I got a commercial for you. But this is, if you don't do this, I don't know, I can't lead you to water. And it's so inexpensive to do, and you get so much out of it. If you got anything from today's show, think of multiplying this by 500 over the next month. Okay, join me for HEALS. It's our 30-day intensive training program that helps you in all aspects of your health and wellness. Your dietary lifestyle, your exercise, your stress reduction, your breathing, your sleep. Everything you can imagine, all balled up into one simple course that you take over a 30-day period. Some people get a little crazy and go faster than that, which is fine. Of making small distinctions that make big changes. Okay, I'm going to leave you the link to go over to link that on our site. It's an amazing course, self-paced video course, just like we're teaching here, but in depth. But simplified. HEAL stands for healthy eating and lifestyle. Simplified. Remember, I'm your simplification coach. I don't want to make it difficult. Difficulty is the enemy of execution. Okay, not like execution, like whoosh, off goes the head. Execution in doing, that type of execution. Simplicity makes it easy to implement. If you can do something in the morning and it's easy to do, why wouldn't you? If it makes your day infinitely better. Okay, I take out my 5 to 10 to 15 depending on, and I've dropped the temperature, so I'm back to 5 minutes in my cold plunge each morning. That's 5 minutes. Maybe I'll go 10 minutes all the way around it, between putting the towel down to step out on, and popping off the cover and making sure the temperature's there, and setting my timer and putting on the music playlist I listen to. So maybe it's a 10-minute process. I get out of that thing with the absolute energy of a madman. I see why Wim Hof does this stuff. Okay, he's a little more extreme than I am. I don't know if I'm climbing Mount Everest in my bare feet. I'm not that much of a fan of the cold, but I can do 5 to 10 minutes in a cold plunge every day. And to feel like $1 million all day and to have this unstoppable energy, compared to having to have an extra cup of coffee and going, oh, it's Monday. If I came to you going, oh my God, it's Monday, guys, let's get this week going. I want another cup of coffee. I needed another day off. I need some sleep. Yeah, sure, I would love another weekend day. If I could talk to God and get 8 days installed in the week, have 2 Sundays, thank you. But there is a concept I'm going to share with you down the road about getting 2 days in every day. We're going to talk about that down the road and keep you coming back on the show. All right, guys, I am over time this morning, as usual. You're probably going, go figure, coach. Have an amazing day. Oh, by the way, on the stress relief thing, and shout out to my sister. I was talking to my sister up in Buffalo yesterday. And she was like, I'm gardening and doing this and that. And I'm like, wow, pretty cool. Must be nice to have the time to do this stuff. And she was like, she goes, maybe you could use this on your show and tell people that could be a part of stress reduction. Could be. Dual side there. Could be a part of stress reduction. Make sure you're getting good, clean food that you grow yourself and you know what went in it. Wow, double win. Thanks, Cook. So hopefully you're watching this morning and on the show and you heard your honorable mention. But that is stuff like that. And then I'm going to leave you at that, guys. Having a hobby such as gardening, such as I like to run in the woods, playing guitar, reading. Some people like knitting. I'd poke myself in the head with the knitting needle personally. No, just kidding for those folks that I know that knit out there that watch the show. I'm just messing with you. Find a hobby. We live once, guys. It's not all about work. It's not all about video games. It's not all about sitting on your butt. It's not all about the kumbaya going, oh, we only live once, so you gotta experience and sit around and don't work too hard. No, get out there and work your ass off. Give everything 125%, 200%, but then take your downtime and your hobby time and absorb that and enjoy that 200%. It's not one or the other. You can't go, well, if I have a great career or a great business, I'm going to give up on a great family life or a great life, because without some sort of great career, I'm sorry. You might be the most loving parent in the world, but if you're freaking broke and your kids are going to school in hand-me-downs all the time and your car's breaking down that they're ashamed to be seen with you when you're dropping them off at school and stuff, you're not teaching them any good success. And I'm not judging you if you're financially working on growing to get better and you don't have much. You don't snap your fingers and you have the $1 million lifestyle. You make a decision and you go to work on it and you get the $1 million lifestyle. And we're going to talk about some finances next week on the show to teach you how to live like a millionaire without having to be a millionaire. Okay? There are ways to do things that are so freaking awesome that you can have the millionaire lifestyle without giving up all of your time to do it. So you're interested for next week? Thought I'd have your attention there. Guys, live with faith, energy, passion. Always live your dreams. Always remember, once again, it's September 11th. We had one of the greatest tragedies in this country on September 11th. And we also had one of the greatest eras of love, respect, and compassion for each other after September 11th. If you were alive then and you were of age to understand what was going on, you remember. Never forget. Never forget what happened, yes, but never forget the outcome of it was a stronger nation here in people's hearts, in a stronger unity than we ever had. And we are so far from that in so many aspects of our country, our world right now, even within our families. The disagreements tear families apart. And who's benefiting from that? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Who's benefiting behind the scenes for you to not like me because of the color of my skin, or how I parent, or how I speak, or what political party I belong to? You don't like me because of that? I don't think that's the case. Number one, if you're on the show, I don't think you don't necessarily don't like me. You might not always agree with me, and I might not always agree with you. But if we can stand next to one another and say, no matter how much I disagree with what you just said, we're going to lock arms and say, I am going to protect you and you protect me to our right to continue to free speech, free choices of how we live, what we do, what we eat, where we go, when we travel, how we raise our children. You know, if it's not something that's harmful to the world, leave it alone. Okay? Okay? We're never don't take away somebody's right to take a supplement that helps them with their health. Don't take away somebody's right to speak their opinion, whether I agree with it or not. That's a hard pill to swallow, because there are some stupid opinions. Guess what? I have some stupid opinions in your eyes, I'm sure, or in somebody's eyes. But you know what? I support your right to have your stupid opinion. You support my right to have my stupid opinion. And guess what? Our opinions aren't so stupid anymore, because they have meaning. Your opinion's yours, mine's mine, and a lot of them are probably aligned very well because we're all in the same show here together, but some aren't. But your opinion is totally yours as long as yours is not the only way. It's not a one-way street. Okay? When we realize that you have your right to yours and I have my right to mine, and in a lot of aspects of your life, oh, okay, we're good, because there's a lot of stuff we agree on. I don't think you've ever met anybody that you disagree with every single thing with, unless there's some kind of devil-worshipping monster, type of person. But honestly, even the people you don't really like, once in a while, don't you find yourself going, well, you know what, they do have a good idea there. Or at work, the office nag or the office butt kiss, still once in a while you can go, well, they had a moment of being decent. Or that boss you hate, well, they had a moment of being decent. See, if we started looking for more of the decency and showing more of it, we have a better world, guys. All right, enough of that. Prayers again go out to those lost on a horrible day back years ago and their families. And let's all strive to have a world that we had post-September 11th, where we banded together, locked arms, and put aside the differences and said, we are Americans. We stood for our flag. We were proud of our flag. Okay? Not always proud of our government activities, guys, but that's always been. But if you're not proud of the government activities, vote accordingly. Don't stand for it. They work for us. We don't work for them. Okay? We are a free nation, not a socialist nation. We are not property of the government. They are property of us. They are for us. And they need to hear that once in a while, no matter what side of the fence you're on. Remember that. Government's for you, not supposed to be against you. God bless. Have an amazing day. Live with faith, energy, passion. Always live your dreams. This is Coach Lou. We're going to talk about finances next week. Cool. Have an amazing day, guys. Thank you again.
Ready to take it to the next level? Tune in to XLR8Life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lou himself. As Coach Lou always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dream.